Okay, so my name is Pedro. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. So when I was 16 years old, I came to this country looking for a better future. And I met Paul at a mortgage company. I went into an interview with him. The first thing he asked me, he goes, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "I'm from Ecuador." He goes, "Get the fuck out of my office." He goes, "My ex-wife is from Ecuador." I'm like, so what happened was, Paul had built this team, a group of people, around 6 or 7 people, and he brought the company from $3 million a year to about $12 million a year. And the owner of the company gave him a business card, no, not a business card, a debit card for $150. So he thought that was very insulting, and he quit. So I quit the next day as well. So then, yesterday we were talking on the phone, and he's like, "Listen, I really wanted you to tell really funny stories, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna tell a really genuine story about why Paul and I are very close." When I was 22 years old, I had a car washing company, and every weekend I used to go out and I used to make $400 or $500 washing cars. And I've seen Paul have left the mortgage company, and he lost everything he had. And that's why I have a lot of respect for him, because I was like, okay, well, I know he was making a lot of money. Let's see if he can make it back. And so he used to own a Corvette, and we used to pull up into people's houses with a Corvette. And we used to charge $150 for detailing cars, and his Corvette is parked right there. So for 3 weeks, we didn't get any tips. Like, no tips at all. So finally, we're a month in, and I'm splitting my $400 or $500 with him. And I go, "Listen, you gotta sell that fucking thing, or we can't keep doing it." I mean, you know. So anyways, I don't know what happened between him and I. We lost touch for about a month and a half, and then he called me one day. And he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm washing cars." He goes, "I got a thing, and I want to talk to you, and this could be huge." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I meet him, and then he came with the idea to do goal parties. Okay, this was probably 7 years ago or 8 years ago. Long story short, within a year and a half, he made over $3 million, and then I was on a live studio down in Miami talking to the Spanish people in Univision, which is like CNN in Spanish. Okay. So I spent a lot of time with Paul, and I'm really excited to be here tonight because he really, really enjoys being around people, motivated them. I talk to him every day because when I didn't have anything, he was the one person that told me, "Listen, you're worth a lot. You know, you gotta keep pushing and keep doing it." So I'll keep this short, but I'm 31 years old now, and I own 3 companies. One of them I own because of him, because he introduced me to this guy that told me everything I know about the coin business. And I'm happy to say that I'm very successful in what I do, but I will say that most of it has to do with what Paul has done through the years for me, and that's why I'm very happy to introduce my best friend, my business partner, and my mentor.
He just says that because I sponsored him to stay in this country. So, most of you don't even know why you're here. Like, I said, "Hey, you want to come and listen to me speak? We're going to film some stuff and you can have drinks." And when I said drinks, you're like, "Okay." So, my background is, I was born and raised in Texas. I went to school. I was born raised like most people. My parents are incredible people. I'm adopted. My mom graduated high school in 3 years, college in 3 years. My dad's a computer genius. Giorgio's met my family. Pedro's met, some of the people in here met my family, and then they're like, "Yeah, you're definitely adopted. They're smarter than you'll ever think about being." So I was raised with that whole idea that you had to be smart, you had to go to school, you had to do these things. And then I got out, and I failed algebra twice in high school. I'm a senior in an Algebra 1 class. I got out of school, and I was like depressed. I ended up waiting tables in a country club. I worked with some very, very successful people. I met a gentleman named Ben Hogan. If you're into golf, he's one of the best golfers you've ever in the world. And so I was really, really around successful people, but I was depressed. And I wasn't excited. I wasn't happy with where my life was. I don't know how I did it, but I ended up $80,000 in debt at 22. I mean, so I was an overachiever in some areas, not every area. So, but I met this guy, and like Pedro said, when I met Pedro, I saw somebody that was raw, but excited, couldn't say 7 words of English. He tells his story wrong though. When he came back into my office and I said, "What happened with that loan?" He goes, "Well, they did the 1 and the thing and the 2, and I go, "What?" And he goes, no, that 1, the loan and the 1 and the thing, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? He goes, they shit on me. And I'm like, well, that translates in any language. So, but I got to a point when I was 22 and I met a guy and he goes, listen, as long as you're willing to change your mindset, your mindset. So you hear so many people that have positive mindset, be positive, excited. Like my biggest excitement is every day when I know he's gonna call me, because I know that voice I'm gonna get. Hey, what's going on? And I'm gonna, every day I'm like, hey, what's going? Let's go. And I know he's going, can you just shut up? But because I was raised in a different mindset. When I was 22, my family and people around me, they were always just depressed and negative and everything was around. Then I met this guy that was like, he had already lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Pedro's seen me, some of the people in this room has seen me lose everything more than once. And it's always my fault. And I'm not saying that like, I'm blaming, it is always my fault. Like I make stupid decisions and I get in that bad thing. But the one thing I always know I got is my mindset. And I can get back where I want. And like when I met my mentor, and we're videoing this for a company and some different things we're doing, so I appreciate you being here and listening to me go on. Hopefully you'll get something out of it. But when I met my mentor, he goes, listen, most people, they go through their lives like this, right? They're born, and then they go and they graduate high school, graduate college, they get married. For me, it was get divorced. Just kidding. Somewhat. But don't most people, they just go through life and it's like little bitty ups and downs? My mentor goes, listen, why don't you get out of that shit, get your mind right, and live life to the fullest you possibly can? Like, right, how many of you have ever heard of a roller coaster? How many like riding roller coasters? How many of us realize most life is a roller coaster? It's like you get real excited, and you're on the way on the top, like it's, oh my God, this is so exciting, this is fun, and then you go to the bottom. I've ridden this roller coaster for the last 30-something years in business and my personal life, and I finally got to the point where I'm like, it's not gonna change. So me getting upset about it and depressed about it is not gonna get, so now I just enjoy the roller coaster. If I lose everything, okay. If I make everything, great. I don't get too high or too low. So there's 3 rules I teach people. First rule, in business, I don't care if you're working in a job, I don't care if you're working in owning your own business, the first rule is you gotta get excited. How many of us know people that this part isn't hard for them?
Yep.
People get excited, right? Like, I swear to God, if I see one more post from these two about the next vacation they're taking, holy mackerel. Like, oh my God, we're so excited about going to see the freaking cold in Michigan and do. Getting excited is easy, right? Staying excited is the hard part. Anybody can get excited, it's really hard to stay excited. So I would encourage you, like, listen, when you feel yourself getting depressed, like, be around positive, upbeat, motivated people. Giorgio knows, I will freaking put stuff on like Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins. I took Giorgio and some other people to a Tony Robbins conference up in Orlando, right?